What up, what up, what up, what up? It's your boy B Phil back again. Let's go ahead and jump right into trade ideas for 119.24. But before we go ahead and go into the ideas, I just want to talk about a new strategy I'm going to be testing on this channel and see how it plays out over time. Give it about a good 6 months before we go and decide if we're going to go forward or not. So basically, I was trying this strategy, and as you can see, not so good on my part. So when I saw, let's go up to the 4 hour here on gold. I saw we had this large candle was starting to pierce through this particular line here. It's not important, but the strategy is that if the candle closes below this particular line, you probably want to be queuing up for shorts. If it closes above, you want to queue up for longs. So at this particular time, it looked like this was kind of a front run in a way. Like, for instance, this particular candle here. So I was thinking it was going to do a similar thing where it wicks up and comes back down. And so I marked this as a downward move. Fast forward, we go down to the 5 minute. And so what I was looking for was our red dot here on Market Cipher B to be above the 60 line. And we started to get that, of course. So what did I do? I put a sell stop in there. It tapped me in, but then of course stopped out. We had one more, right? And then of course I had to tap me in, and then we got stopped out, of course. At which point, it's pretty obvious that we have a lot of money in this particular market here. There's a lot of green here, so maybe that wasn't the best. Hindsight's 2020. When we rewatch this, we'll go ahead and take note of that. But then, as you can see, it flipped, and I started looking for longs. And as you can see, later on in the night when I was actually asleep, we did get a particular entry in here. This looks like it's more of a bullish divergence. So this one could be a little bit more difficult, right? So if we're looking here, boom, it's a little bit more difficult. You might get stopped out there with a tight stop loss. That's probably what would happen. Then we'd be at -3 at that point. So pretty difficult to trade this particular section with this particular strategy, but we will press on. So that would be a -3. And we're just looking for up moves now. As you can see, price is moving up. Good to go. Let's go to Bitcoin. Now with Bitcoin, we did find a particular move that satisfied the criteria here. Let me just make sure. Let's go to the alerts. I think right here. 5 minute. Okay, cool. So right here, as you can see, we had a slight little hiccup here. I kind of wasn't looking at the chart at that time. Well, Bitcoin. I was on the chart, but I was looking at Bitcoin specifically. Then we got this second die here. And then, of course, once we got that second die, we were waiting just for another second for it to cross the 60. And then we put in a sell stop. And, of course, there you go. It's ran. And, again, these are all paper just to go ahead and test this particular strategy. But this one would have been a winner, 1-3. And thus evening us out on the losses here on gold and the win on Bitcoin. So now we would have at 0. Then of course on the NASDAQ we were looking here as well. And let's go ahead and right here look for long scalp. So this is on the 5 minute, which means that this was a 4 hour green. So as you can see, this was above the blue line, right? So uptrend. So on the 5 minute, what we're looking for is a pullback to the 60. We get that pullback to the 60 here. Beautiful. We go ahead and we're on close, put a buy stop in there. Boom, 1-3. So we would be up 3 at that particular point. And that's all I looked at a bunch more, but those are the ones that I put in paper trades on. So Right now, we probably have +3, not considering slippage and all the other factors that come into trading. So now let's just go ahead and give ourselves a fresh eyes, fresh perspective on this particular chart. So I'm gonna move this here. We're gonna go up to the daily. Now we're at the end of the week, and we've had daily candles that are closing below this particular line here, the blue EMA. It's an 8, but that's not important here. We just want to get the patterns down. So it looks like we're starting to punch up above. We're starting to curl up. Nothing really major here. We're starting to get a green dot potentially. So we could potentially see that at the end of the week, we're going to go ahead and close bullish, right? Closing above this blue EMA, which then we just go down to 15. And of course, we want to see this pullback, but not quite at the 60. So we're just going to leave that there, and we would probably not trade this day. It's like we already missed a particular move, which it happens, right? So we would just go ahead and disregard that. We're going to go ahead and remove this. All right, so let's go up to the daily on Bitcoin. We're below, of course. We're actually on this particular candle here. Now we go down to the 15-minute. And for this particular strategy, this one, it looks like if we were going to do something, we already missed it. So if we're below, we're looking for the longs. So we had to open up here. We see that price is actually above this yellow line, which is the open of this particular daily candle. We see it cross the 60 here pretty convincingly, cross down. Probably want to sell stop below here, or yeah, stop above here. My apologies there. So you probably sell stop for $41,272.78 with a stop above $41,536.07, and then you'd be looking for that 1 to 3. So something like this, and you'd probably be in some drawdown now, but you'd be looking for this 1 to 3 here, and that would be the actual trading strategy. So here on Bitcoin, we can go, let's go to the hourly and see what's going on here. Looks like we're starting to move sideways. Doesn't look very good at all, but it actually closed above, kind of there. If we got onto the 1 minute on this hourly candle, we had to open right down here. So now we're below. We want to see a 60 here. So we just want to go ahead and wait on the 1 minute if we're looking for longs, which we are at this point. All right, that's Bitcoin. Let's go ahead and look if there are any plays here on the NASDAQ. Yeah, so obviously we're going up on the daily, on the 15-minute. We had an open here, so we'd want to see it come below here, get that 60, but we're not seeing that just yet. So let's go ahead and go down to the 4 hour. Yeah, I mean, this is up here, and we can go down to the 5 minute. So we're meeting part of the criteria. We have that open there. We'd want to see it back in the 60. So maybe we see it fall off just a tad bit before we ultimately look for any particular buy trade. So now we look at the hourly, and we go down to the 1 minute. Looks like right now on the 1 minute, we just got this particular anchor wave here, but we already missed the move, so we're not going to continue to look at this. NASDAQ is gone. We'll look at tabs on the 5 minute. So if we get a below the 60 here, we could potentially look for an entry. All right, let's go to US 30. All right, on the daily, let's go ahead and go to the monthly, go a little bit higher. All right, yeah, I mean, obviously up, right? At the monthly, then we go down to our 4 hour. Yeah, so you had some potentials in here, not very good, not very good at all. So for instance, if we did see something like this, put in this very hard move right there, we could go down to the 5 minute and you don't see an entry until way over here, which these aren't really good entries at that point. So it already took off. Yeah, you would have already missed that for sure. So yeah, this is pretty convincing. Opens up. Maybe you buy stop some of this, but this ultimately looks like it would turn out to be a loss. And you see it come all the way down here. You know, this green dot. And we want to see it pretty convincingly move up, so maybe we see this here. Go down to the 5 minute. And then you start to see, yeah, you probably get one loss here before maybe you get this win here, which would be pretty big. I'd say maybe 2 losses, and then you can get a nice 1 to 3 here. Right? We just always want to know, it's always just the probabilities and what are the probabilities of this particular stuff happening, right? But you could for sure get that. Maybe not all of this, maybe just a 1 to 3. So maybe +4 at this point. So nothing really here to look at, in my opinion. Nothing that we can catch right now, at least. Like if we go up to the daily here, we have this small little green dot printing. We have this daily open. We go on to the 15 minute. Yeah, I mean, we did have something there, but we already missed it and it already took off without us. So we just disregard this. We're at 12 minutes right now. Let's go ahead and start to wrap this up. So as you saw, we just looked at a few pairs and we went ahead and analyzed them based on a newer strategy that I want to go ahead and test for at least 3 to 6 months. I tested for 3 to 6 months. We continue to look at what the stats say, and then we can determine if it's going to be something that we're going to use going forward. So hope you learned something today. Go ahead and leave a comment, hit that like button, and as always, have a great weekend. It's your boy B Phil. I'm out. Peace.